Lockdown has commenced.
This is the final transmission. We're going underground.
What if you took a wrong turn and ended up in 1953? Imagine this. You're walking down the street on your lunch break. Same old bars, same old tired cafes. Something's off. And suddenly, everything's changed. Cars are gone. Streets are empty and just crackling from a radio and an old man tipping his hat at you like it's 1942. You, my friend, may have just slipped through time. Welcome to Bowl Street, Liverpool. On the surface, it's just another high street. A strange energy hums beneath your feet. And if you take the wrong step, you might just end up buying your coffee in 1953. In 1996, a retired police officer called Frank was out shopping with his wife. She popped into a bookshop, and Frank wandered down the street. But suddenly, everything's changed. Horse-drawn carriages, people in 40s clothing. Frank was in the past, and he knew it. He panicked, looked around. Air felt thick, like static. And then, blink, he was back in 1966. But he's not the only one. Dozens of people have reported eerily similar stories. Always on Bowl Street. Always brief, and always terrifyingly real. Coincidence? Or tear in time itself? Well, I, my friends, am booking a one-way ticket to Bowl Street. Gonna rewrite the Beatles catalogue, invent OnlyFans, and then retire in style, me old son. Ta-ta, time peasants. I'm off to 1953. Good day, me old son. These aren't dreams or drunken blackouts. These are broad daylight anomalies. Crisp, sober, and terrifying. Take Bowl Street, Liverpool, the UK's unofficial time slip capital. In one famous case, two teenage girls in the mid-90s were shopping for baby clothes. Normal day until they stepped into a store neither had noticed before. Inside, the world had changed. 1950s music, 1950s stop, and 1950s staff. The floorboards creaked under their feet. The air smelt like mothballs and pipe smoke. The clerk smiled politely and asked if they prefer their change in shillings. And for you, US folk, that's like cents in the old days. One girl ran off. The other stayed a moment longer, hypnotized by the eerie charm of a world that shouldn't exist. She claims she looked at the receipt as she left, dated August 18th, 1954. They both swear it happened, felt it, smelt it. And when they returned the next day, the store wasn't there. It never existed, and they weren't the only ones. In a now missing article from the Liverpool Echo, dated October 13th, 1956, a reporter wrote,
"We've received multiple reports of a phantom shop appearing on Bowl Street, some claiming to have purchased items that later vanished or aged decades overnight. Police say no such businesses are registered to the location."
And a Merseyside police file.
Two teenage females reported entering a retail premises not registered with the City Council. Alleged temporal anomalies include dated receipt and interactions with individuals in 1950s attire. CCTV inconclusive. Officers attending found no shopfront matching description. Case closed.
Yeah. Funny that, because that file has recently vanished from the Freedom of Information database. Poof! Like the shop itself. Ta-ta! Experts baffled. Locals whisper,
I swear the shop wasn't there yesterday. It was like stepping back in time.
Things vanish, people talk, it happens more than you think.
so, what do we call this? A glitch in the Matrix? Or maybe it wasn't a glitch. Maybe it was an invitation. Whatever it was. Google Maps had a day off. Alright, let's get weird. I know, it's been pretty f***ing weird all along. What if these aren't accidents? What if these time slips are glitches? Like in a video game where the code loads the wrong level, but instead of walking into a wall, you're walking into another decade. Some physicists, real ones, not your cousin Barry after a spliff. Yeah, I think we've all got a cousin Barry. No offense, Barry, if you're watching. Anyhow, some believe time isn't linear. It's layered, and sometimes, just sometimes, the layers bleed. That moment you feel deja vu, that's just you bleeding into a version of yourself in 1987, wondering why the milk swarm and everyone's wearing hats.
Picked a bad day for milk, my friend. Someone give me some water in here.
Skeptics say it's memory errors, misidentification, fancy, imagination. But how do you explain the multiple people decades apart, describing the same vintage shop, the same clothes, and even the same cashier's face? Still not convinced? Alright, let's get back to 1979. Two English couples, Jeff and Pauline Simpson from Dover and Len and Cynthia Taylor, were driving through rural France en route to Spain. Somewhere near Montelima, they stumbled upon a charming little hotel. It looked like something out of a period film. Timber beams, wrought iron beds, no phones, no modern plumbing. The staff wore old-fashioned uniforms, and the decor, pure 1900s aesthetic, but quaint, cozy, authentic. They had dinner, stayed the night, and paid in cash. But the real shock came days later. On their return trip, they tried to revisit the hotel, and it was gone. Not closed, not renamed, gone. Locals insisted no hotel existed since 1905. There were no records, no business listings, no Google listings. And the photos while staying there, well, you guessed it. Every single one of them vanished from the roll of film. Of course they did. They always do. Did four ordinary Brits accidentally book a hotel in the past? Or did they stumble into one of those thin places where time slips and history briefly opens its door?
Ah, oui, oui, madame, mange tout très bien. That is literally all the French say that I know. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry to all you French people. I don't speak no French.
And if you think that's just a holiday ghost story, the files, the clippings, and the missing photos say otherwise. The police report exists. The newspaper exists. The photos don't. And that, my friends, is where it gets interesting. Why does it matter? Because if time isn't fixed, neither are you. Who's to say you're not already slipping that moment of forgetfulness? Maybe you didn't lose your keys. Maybe, just for a second, you weren't in this timeline. And if it can happen by accident, what happens when they learn to do it on purpose? Time travel isn't just sci-fi anymore. It's happening, and someone doesn't want you to know. Right then, let's talk about the guy who's literally Back to the Future's cousin, just without Doc Brown and that missing plutonium.
21 gigawatts? Great Scots!
If you've ever seen Back to the Future, well, you're a mentalist. Link in the description below. Number 1, number 2 are amazing. Number 3, not for me. He goes by the name Unico. Links below. He claims he's from the year 2671. That's 6 centuries from now for those of you that miss history class. With over 600,000 followers, millions of likes, and a feed full of deserted cities, sky-splitting disasters, and important dates for events that hasn't even happened yet. His mission? To warn us before it gets too late. People have called him out.
Fine, if you're from the future, go somewhere busy. Prove it.
And he does it every time. One clip shows him strolling through the Vatican's underground library, a place so restricted, even the Pope would struggle to get a keycard. Another, try airports, hospitals, not a single soul in sight. And then,
The Pierre de Resistance?
casually walking along, carrying the actual Mona Lisa. Yeah, the real one. What do you think? Chilling proof of a man out of time, or the most elaborate TikTok hoax ever made? Drop your theories in the comments. I'd really like to hear them. But time travel claims aren't just an internet fad. We've been catching these time slips for decades. 1995, Mike Tyson's in the ring. The crowd's buzzing. And there, in the front row, is a guy filming a fight with what looks like a smartphone. Problem? Well, the first mobile phone wasn't invented for a decade. 1928, Charlie Chaplin's The Circus, silent black and white film, all very quaint until you notice the woman strolling past, apparently having a chat on a mobile phone. Either she's a time traveler or she's talking to her shoe.
Hello? Is anyone there? Wrong number.
And then there's a photo. Small town in Canada in 1940s, everyone's dressed in proper period attire. Suits, hats, dresses, except for one bloke. He's rocking sunglasses, a printed graphic t-shirt, and a camera that wouldn't exist for another half century. Looks like he's just nipped out for a flat white and accidentally wandered into 1943. Let's stop pretending this is just a glitch in the Matrix, because the deeper you dig, the more you find out one name behind the curtain. Yep, you guessed it, the CIA. For decades, they've been dabbling in time travel like toddlers with TNT, and one project stands out: Project Pegasus. Sounds cute. It's not. According to whistleblower Andrew Basiago, the US government figured out time travel in the 1970s and started sending children through time. Why kids? Because he says their minds were more adaptable, less likely to, explode. He claims he personally watched Abraham Lincoln deliver his most famous speech, the Gettysburg Address, back in 1863, and apparently also took a little field trip to Mars with a teenage Barack Obama. Crazy, maybe, but Andrew Basiago passed multiple lie detector tests, and he ran for president in 2016 with one campaign promise: time travel for everyone. Now, let's get wilder. Some say the US wasn't first. They say the Vatican beat him to it. In the 1950s, Benedictine monk claimed to help build a machine that could see through time, a cosmic television built with help from Enrico Fermi. They called it the Chronovisor. What did it show? Just the crucifixion of Jesus Christ? No biggie. They say the Vatican kept it locked away because knowing the future, that's power. And too much power breaks the timeline. If you've made it this far, you're already on the wrong side of the timeline. So next time the air feels thick, the streets are too quiet, or the music sounds like it's bleeding from another century, remember this moment, because you're not lost. You've slipped. And when you do, someone will be waiting. This isn't just the channel. This is the Conspiracy Club. And you've already joined. Alright, this part isn't for everyone. If you're hearing this, you're already deeper than most. You can hit a super thank. That's like sliding me a pint through space and time and giving me a thanks for all my hard work in it. Or just join the membership, where you get signed scripts, you get a shout out at the end of every video, and you can download your favorite videos with no ads. And do it quietly, because we don't want them to know how many of us there are. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and remember, the truth is out there.